Tension continues to grow between the police and Mayor Bill de Blasio as crime statistics continue to surge there as well. At a meeting last week, New York City Police Commissioner Dermot Shea slammed city leaders who have been critical of the NYPD. Shea called them cowards. That included Mayor de Blasio. Mayor de Blasio, like the mayor of Portland, is also rejecting help from federal law enforcement.
Look what happened in Portland. It's been a fiasco. Sending in the federal law enforcement agents totally backfired. It's the same way he's used ICE. He uses ICE as an extension of his re-election campaign, not to protect people. I just have no illusions here. So we do not welcome it, and it will not work.
Now, the reward is now at $30,000 for anyone who provides. Well, that's for a story we're going to talk about in a moment. Here is our interview. We had a chance to talk to Bevelyn Beatty earlier today, and here is that discussion. All right, joining us now to talk more about pushing back against Black Lives Matter and the effort to defund police is Bevelyn Beatty. She is the co-founder of At the Well Ministries. And Bevelyn, it's great to see you, and thanks for coming on our program.
Hi, thank you for having me. So
the first time I saw you in that video, I had to ask myself this question, and now I'm glad to be able to ask it to you. What was the final straw that broke the proverbial camel's back here that made you say to yourself, you know, forget about the consequences. I got to do this. I need to make this statement and spread black paint all over this mural.
Well, it happened, I think about last week sometime. My cousin actually had got involved in a shootout in Staten Island. He had got shot in both of his legs, and one of his legs was amputated. And this, again, was another form of black-on-black crime. And yet, where's Black Lives Matter at? Totally silent. So it hit home for me. And on top of that, just watching what was happening in New York. I have a lot of family in New York, and unfortunately, a lot of them are gangsters. And now it's hitting home more than ever because they are really defunding the police and the crime is rising. And I just was like, you know what? They're killing us. I'm done. I'm tired.
Well, we can put some of the crime stats up on the screen now, specifically related to New York. Things like murder up 50% just in the year. The number of shooting victims up more than 200%. The number of shooting incidents up close to 185%. And these are statistics on the screen right now, but these are the crimes that you and your family and your friends and your neighbors are living through.
Yes, that's exactly right. And it's one thing when they talk about this stuff and it's political and you only see it from the news perspective and it's never at your front door. But this is at New York's front door. This is at Chicago's front door. This is at every black person, whether they like it or not, front door. And then the white people and all the other races are just bystanders, collateral damage in it. But this is affecting everybody at this point. People are leaving New York by the droves. You can't live there because you might die. A 1-year-old baby got shot in the head.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter said nothing.
And that's what I wanted to talk about, too, because while this mural was being painted, it was right around the same time that 1-year-old Devell Gardner was shot and killed, and police say the infant was killed at a cookout. And you can see on the screen here, Mayor de Blasio, Al Sharpton, some of the other Black Lives Matter representatives there painting the street. And this is what he said the day after Devell Gardner was shot. Here's the mayor.
This is not anything we can allow in our city. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking for so many reasons. And it begins with the fact that there are just so many guns out there, and that is a New York tragedy and a national tragedy.
When de Blasio was actually talking about the Devin Gardner case, he called it a national tragedy. But that statement doesn't seem to really dovetail in with his behavior there, painting the streets, smiling, photo-opping with Al Sharpton. And why haven't we heard more from the likes of Al Sharpton on the Devell Gardner murder?
Because Devon Gardner getting killed doesn't sign Al Sharpton's paycheck. Al Sharpton only eats off of one thing and one thing only: the demise of black people based off of what quote unquote racism is doing to us. That's how he makes his money. Okay, so he was actually paid to be at that place painting and smiling. He was getting a check while that young man was dying, so he could care less about him. And this is the truth about Al Sharpton. He is a house Negro, and I'm not even calling names when I'm saying that. I'm calling it for what it is. He's a token Negro who displays the face of what black people are supposed to be, but he's a liar, and he uses our demise and our ignorance against us, and he pushes this agenda of racism so he can keep collecting a paycheck.
Bevelyn, those are very strong words. Obviously, your words that I would not say, but I understand your sentiment. I think a lot of people do. Well, I think people do understand where you're coming from on this. A lot of people are frustrated. What do you think is a solution here? I hate to talk about these problems without actually talking about solutions. We talked about this Brooklyn neighborhood. The community leaders there are calling for the return of plainclothes police officers in New York. But what would you like to see happen, Bevelyn, that you think would make your community safer?
First and foremost, the people themselves, we the people, have to stand up and fight back and take back our country, and we have to fight for our officers, okay? Their hands are tied. We have to stand with them and fight for them. We know for a fact that if they get rid of these police, we're going to be dying in the streets. We're going to be in trouble. That's number one. Number two, any person who has been directly affected by Black Lives Matter, no matter what color you are, if you can prove in any state in the United States you've been directly affected by BLM, you need to contact me because we're going to sue them. I will get you a lawyer that will help you sue them for free.
And Bevelyn, what's the best way for people to contact you? You want to put up a web address or email address? We can put that up on the screen.
Yes, you can look up @wellministries.org.
Okay.
And you can also contact me directly at bevelynbeatty@gmail.com, and I will get you a lawyer in your state, and we are going to hit them where it hurts, in their pockets.
And Bevelyn, you obviously were arrested for this vandalism. Officially, that's the charge. What kind of consequences are you now facing?
Right now, I just got criminal mischief ticket. Nothing really. They just gave me a ticket. I'll be in court in October. A slap on the wrist, and I'm gonna tell you why it was a slap on the wrist. Because they couldn't really charge me as much as they wanted to, because the mayor told the police to stand down when Black Lives Matter was protesting. Blasio told the police to stand down. The commissioner actually tweeted this, that they were told directly to stand down. But when we start to paint that mural, we are supposed to be arrested. So all we're getting is criminal mischief, and it's going to be dismissed because the mayor has proven he's biased. So by all means, get your cans of paint and paint all over any Black Lives Matter mural you see.
All right. Well, officially, Bevelyn, we don't condone vandalism. But again, I think people might understand where you're coming from and why you're doing this based on your personal story here. We'd love to stay in touch with you. We welcome you to come back on the program here in the future. I don't know if you're going to do this again, but please stay in touch with us, and we'll stay in touch with you.
All right.
Bevelyn Beatty, thank you so much for joining us.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.